I'm Francesca Villamor.
And this is LIT News.
From his humble beginnings as a boxer to an advocate of civil rights and racial equality, Nelson Mandela's legacy will forever be engraved in our minds and in history.
After being imprisoned for fighting for peace in a racially divided country, ultimately saving Africa from civil war, he still found it in himself to forgive those who have imprisoned him.
Nelson Mandela's character sets an example for people all around the world. And today, we commemorate him for all that he has done.
His legacy is about love. His legacy is about selflessness. He said that he has this unique ability to unite people behind him, whether he's campaigning for a cause, whether he's sick, and even now that he has passed on, he still is uniting people behind him.
Mandela changed the way he viewed his fellow human beings, and that is a gift that lives on.
I couldn't believe the humbleness of somebody that is a statesman, that can easily interact with the Queen of England, but also with the poorest of the poor.
On the anniversary of his birth, there are a few who remember what he was really like.
He loved us. Sometimes us commanders would give him advice. We'd tell him, Mr. President, maybe this isn't such a good idea. Try this. Sometimes he listens to us. Most of the time he doesn't.
His former colleagues, who loved and struggled with the head of state, Conroy Henry Dean, spent 11 years with Nelson Mandela serving as his bodyguard.
In the morning, no matter where he is in the world, he has this stack of newspapers. Don't you dare touch his newspapers. He won't read it if somebody else flips through its pages. He doesn't like that for some reason. In his early presidential years, he still made his own bed, and he would put his shoes in this specific way. I think he was still used to the prison lifestyle.
Dudu Buthelezi was Mandela's assistant, and she says she never saw him angry.
Because even if there was something wrong and then he come in and say, "Hello Dudu, how are you?" And then I'll say, "I'm fine, Tata." And they say, very good, thank you." And it's like there's no problem at all.
When he went from prisoner to president, he was given a multiracial protection team, and the driver told us that Mandela worked hard to befriend team members who were white.
Nelson Mandela made sure that his people felt very comforted. Sometimes we would actually question why he was doing it, because we would think that were the reason why there was so much chaos. We'd ask ourselves, why does he treat us so well?
However, they had to work together when Mandela was accompanied by Prince Charles on a visit to Brixton in London.
There were these fences, and people jumped over these fences. They would kick the fences down, and then later on there were no fences anymore, and the crowd was now in the road. There were times where the convoy that we had come with got separated from the rest of the convoys because of the amount of people in the road. It was hectic. People loved him that much.
Former bodyguard Gert Bernard witnessed Nelson Mandela's best-known act of reconciliation when a fellow security officer suggested the president to wear the national rugby jersey at the World Cup final. He put one on.
One amazing day, the president, the first ever black president of the country, wore a Springbok jersey. What is the world going to think about this? And what is the South African population, especially the white South African population, going to think about this? I do think about that.
Jim Pascual Agustin, an avid follower of Nelson Mandela and the things he has done, wrote a poem in his honor.
Like so many people around the world, I cannot fully imagine my own life without the example that Nelson Mandela set. And for as long as I live, I will do what I can to learn from him. When I received the news about Nelson Mandela's death, it reminded me of a dream I had, so I wrote it down. I dedicated this poem in his honor.
The poem entitled The Breath of Sparrows reads, So it has arrived, the news of your departure. Last night, I dreamt I was in the house of my mentor as a frequent guest who took a desk by the window.
A towering tree with red and yellow flowers as big as hands. The breeze slipping between each petal finger. I went to his room to ask the name of that tree.
He lay on his bed, resting, with eyes closed, but aware of the birds weighing down the branches, leaves caressing the roof, the breath of sparrows.
Like his own, there was no need to name the tree, no need to name anything at all at that moment. I bid him thanks before leaving, my footsteps drowning in sparrow wings.
Wow, that was quite a beautiful poem. Don't you think, Miss Villamore?
Beautiful indeed, Miss Figueroa. It just goes to show how great and inspiring of a leader Nelson Mandela truly was. In other news, a new and exciting hair product